this computer. Voila. Let's see if that works. Yay. And if you guys want to record, y'all are welcome to record too. It should send me a notification that allows me to record. I'm so excited. I want to say thank you to everybody. We've got, I'm going to start with, on my screen, I see Louis first. So Louis, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Louis Rios. I work for Citibank. I know I hate saying that, but a fun fact is I love the travel. So I love getting in my RV and just going all over the United States and having fun and hanging out with Bettina.
Yay. Heejing, you're next.
Hi, my name is Heejing Kim, and I'm from JVM Lending. I'm a co-founder with my husband. Fun fact, has been very difficult fact for me, is I don't watch news. I'm not on social media. So in this time, getting back to media has been somewhat challenging. But other than that, no TV, no shows, no media.
You're just getting stuff done. She's a high.
Yeah.
Andrew, you're up.
Andrew McElyea with Guild Mortgage. And fun fact is that I was on staff with I Am Second, which is a ministry for E3 partners, launched the I Am Second organization across the country. So minister at that.
I had no idea. That is a cool fact. Fun, but super cool. Rob, you're up.
Hi, thank you. Rothrock with Highlands Mortgage. Fun fact is I have a 3-year-old, a 1-year-old, and then also a 21-year-old in college. So I've yet to find anybody that's got me beat with that spread.
That is
Don't
fun.
want to.
That's right.
That's a fact.
That's a fact.
That's a fact. So, okay, I'm going to start with my question, then I'm going to let you guys, and then I think we'll just go into our campfire conversation. So basically, we're going to hang out. We're curious what lenders talk about in this market, what y'all are brainstorming about with each other, what y'all are thinking is happening in the future, what you think is happening now, what do realtors need to know? So if it's okay, I'd like to know what the heck is going on with our rates, with FHA, with all that stuff. And I'm going to say, take it away. We're at a campfire. The one who is closest to the campfire goes. So go for it.
Uh-oh. She's taking over. We're having a liquidity issue right now. So what's happening is the government has been buying mortgage-backed securities. First, they did it at a little bit of a pace, and then they noticed it wasn't doing anything. Then they started buying more. And then today they bought like 28. I mean, they're buying a ton to try to keep it even keeled, to keep the rates down, but they kind of overbought. So they backed off a little bit. But the issue is the big boys are having liquidity issues because the stocks are being called. They're having to sell bonds so that they can pay those calls. So there's a liquidity issue in the market right now. So even though rates are really, really good, we're not seeing it to consumers right now. It's not happening.
What does that mean to us as a realtor? Somebody else take that.
So I can jump in real quick. Yeah, I think what Louis is speaking to, and hopefully it's starting to subside a little bit, but there's less opportunity out there. I think one of your questions, Bettina, was, what type of borrowers are going to be able to get a home in the future, and I'm sure you'll come to that. But these margin calls, the liquidity issues, people backing out of the market, the lenders stepping away has really kind of narrowed the box. And I'm sure we'll get into non-QM and jumbo and some of the guidelines and things of that nature. So you're really seeing more of a move to plain vanilla type borrowers, which is going to hurt the first-time home buyers. There were some big changes in bond programs this week from a servicing standpoint. So it is starting to tighten up a little bit. And Louis is right, the rates are still good. Sometimes you have to be opportunistic and watch them all day for your customers who are refinancing or purchasing for the right lock, because they can swing a point and a half. I think there were even a day or two where they swung a couple of points in cost, but it's pretty choppy right now, and everything's starting to tighten up, and the changes are coming every day, really.
Yeah.
Go ahead, EJ.
Yeah. To echo that, it's extremely difficult for us to give the education to all of our buyers. Even if we sum it up, it's difficult for them to understand. So what we're doing right now is just being vigilant and alert, and doing our best to educate our clients and realtors and communicate with very precise information that they need so that they can arm themselves with communicating that to their clients as well.
In 10 seconds, can you just, what do we need to know? 30 seconds.
So narrowing down your clientele and dispositioning them to who really has to move and sell, I think that's extremely important, because otherwise all you're doing is talking every day and communicating to mass of people. So we're narrowing down, just like Rob said, it's going to be vanilla loans. So understanding your database and prioritizing your clients into those boxes right now, that's first step, and that's important. And communicating with all the other clients to hold them off until their job situation is more solid, until we can verify all of their employments, because we're going to do it 9 times last minute to make sure that they're employed. So there's a lot of granular things that you have to know, which after this, I can send you all the summaries of them. But, reprioritizing your database, focusing on who to communicate first, I think that's important. The pricing is not, it's moot. It changes every day, 5 times a day. So if they're having the conversation that they want the 3.25 that was available March 6th, that's just not the conversation. We need to pivot those conversations, right?
And Andrew, what's your take? What can you add to this?
I would say there are 2 things. One is the volatility. Personally, I refinanced. I'm in the process of it, and I locked in on 2.75 on a 10-year note, getting a lender rebate of about 0.5 point. 4 days later, that exact same loan was at 4 1/8, paying 2 points. A swing. So if you've got somebody who wants to refinance or is buying, you really need to get all ready to go and then time it out. The other thing along with that is that if you are a real estate agent and you've had a pre-approval from a really good lender, any of the lenders on this program, even if you have a really good lender and you're pre-approved, I would go back and make sure, hey, if rates go up, are we still good? Or if I was on a bond program, is it still available? Because you do not want to get an offer out there, and people are still making offers, putting in contracts, so it's really great still. But it is one of those things where you need to make sure that your borrowers are protected and you have a lender that's on top of it, taking care of it for you.
That is such good information. And one of the questions that I do want to know, because I do find it as a leading indicator, and I've had this conversation, I think, with everybody, is I'd like to know, not just for you, but for your company, what does it look like, the purchase contracts that are coming in, as well as the purchase applications?
So we're still getting contracts on a daily basis. I mean, we're actually going to have a record month this month, and between purchases and refis, it's about 50-50 versus usually it's 70% purchase. But I've been seeing a little bit more concessions coming in on contracts that I haven't seen before, which is really good. But there's people taking advantage of the opportunity and buying properties. I have investors buying properties right now too, which I was shocked. They're just calling me. So it's still coming in. There's still business happening on a daily basis on our end.
And Heejing, just so you guys know, she's actually in California. Her company's in California and in Texas. So what's really cool about that is that, things start in California like McDonald's and it spreads across the country. So I like to kind of figure out, hey, what's going on over there in California? Because she's given me some tips and some ideas as a realtor on what we can do here, because it's probably going to come here in Texas too. So could you speak to that as well?
Yeah, so purchase business are still strong in the Bay Area. People, obviously have to move, and so that's happening. How it's divisive in NorCal and Texas as well, because we have an office in Austin. A lot of realtors are torn, and then they have this competing thoughts with themselves. Do we go out and work and sometimes they get shamed in public, so they're hesitant, but there are clients who need their help. So those are the most calls that I'm getting, especially from a lot of mega realtors. Like, my sellers need to sell, and I'm not getting cooperation from the community. So what do I do? So that's more in Oakland, Berkeley, when they join together and say lives are first, no more, no, you guys can't be out there. But there are clients who actually have to, go through their purchase and then move in. So there's those kind. But for the most part, the realtors in Bay Area and realtors in Austin, they're doing everything virtually, and the clients are okay with it because they are a lot of our tech clients, and they are used to working virtually, getting apartments and houses with virtual tours and signing on the dot. In Northern California, we're used to closing transactions in 14 days and with, going in naked, right? So sellers have all the reports done previous to 2 weeks before the open house. It's available online. Buyers, 79 buyers are reviewing those reports and then arming their pre-approval and making the offer and then going forward. So its business is a little bit different here. And that's what I learned when I went to Dallas, and I'm promoting all this stuff. Everybody's looking at me like, that's not how we do business. So, but it's been working out okay. We are still closing a lot of purchases. We had our record month in March. We had 83 purchases closed out of 132 transactions. And so, we have a silver lining in March where all of our salespeople are Zooming with their realtors. So the business seems usual. We just have to know which box to fit into these clients.
Awesome. Rob or Andrew, what is your take? What are your thoughts?
Go ahead,
that was
Mr.
really-
Andrew.
Go ahead, Rob.
No, sir, please. Thank you.
I forgot the question, Bettina. I was very interested between California and the take is we're still seeing lots of refinances. Rates are great, as Luis had said, and the fact that purchase business has not dried up. I am seeing a lot more with seller contributions, which makes it sure a lot easier for those folks that are, down payment assistance and first-time home buyers. Makes it really, really easier to get the contracts for them approved. And I'm also seeing more houses in the, 150 to 250 range come on market. And, it used to be I'd see those few and far between, but I've seen more and more of the lower end homes selling. So little insight.
What about luxury?
Luxury, there's an issue. There's a problem with jumbo right now. There's a lot of the QM, non-QM stuff has checked out. Redwood, which was a large jumbo buyer for us, stopped accepting lots about 2.5 weeks ago when the up and down craziness happened. So, we're having a little bit of issues with jumbos right now.
Is anybody seeing investors pull out after they've given a lock, after they've committed to a loan?
Absolutely. Yesterday, as of 3:30, Wells Fargo pulled out a jumbo.
Yep.
Chase will be next. I don't think we're going to see a lot of jumbo loans or market for all of 4 of us on the call, except for Citibank. I think if you're if your bank, PNC, credit unions, PenFed, those places will offer vanilla jumbo products. But for us, Guild, as any top 50 mortgage bank, non-depository mortgage bank, I think we pretty much have stopped jumbo. At least, we're trying to clear out the pipeline, but we're volunteering some of these loans to just die and orphan them because even if we do it, we don't know if we can get it bought. And so that's kind of what's going on with jumbo. But like I said, I think if you are cream of the crop clients, you can go to the banks and get the jumbo loans.
How about the middle of the road? And I'm also wanting to know, y'all use the term vanilla a lot.
Vanilla means W2 has assets in the bank, verifiable jobs, very simple, clean to the fact, reserves. They have 6 months reserves after closing or 2 months reserve, vanilla, versus your self-employed. We can't get transcripts, only has a month reserves after we close. That's our Redwood or your different type of jumbo person. That guy is probably not, or bank statement, all that is gone right now. You're not going to see that right now. It's just not going to happen.
So what's your advice for those folks, the non-vanillas?
Let me jump in just real quick. Guild is privately held, so the liquidity of Guild is extremely high, and we have backed off just minimally on anything. Self-employed, FHA 100%, down payment assistance programs. We really haven't pulled any of those. We did increase our credit score on FHA from 580 up to 600. But we're still able to do a lot of them. There was about a week there when just about everything came off the market, whether it be jumbo, down payment assistance, anything that was, pretty normal to do business with. But I'm starting to see it come back. And it may be a Guild thing, I really don't know. But for that middle market, we're still doing great. And I think that's why we're getting more contracts in, because people were scared off for a little bit and now kind of coming back.
Yeah, if I can echo that too, we're kind of in the same boat, being locally owned and operated. So we've just moved guidelines up a little bit, but we're still playing in the space. There's still some jumbo money out there. And really, back to Lewis's original point, it's really that kind of liquidity crisis and margin squeeze. And I don't know if we're going to get into forbearance, but some of the things that are going on are also being driven by this CARES Act and some of the forbearance plans. When you've got these large servicers out there who are also some of our providers of jumbo money, that's one of the reasons they're pulling back. This is a dangerous time. If you watch Barry Habib or any of the other people on MBS Highway, they've been in contact with Steve Mnuchin and some of these treasury repurchases to kind of help settle out the markets. And there's a good public video on MBS Highway for the realtors out there. If you go to MBS Highway's Facebook page, they had a really kind of a housing, State of the Union housing address with some very capable people that speak to what's going to happen in housing, what's happened in some of the greater recessions. And so it's the chases and the wells starting to pull out. We talked about, I think, Lewis mentioned one of his non-QM people. You also saw Angel Oak and Deep Haven kind of shut their doors, gone.
Like gone, like gone, not like temporary. It's like they're just gone.
Gone. They folded shop. So
poof.
Yep, and those were some of those non-QM type of people. So you got a bunch of things going on that's very fluid. But as it relates back to jumbo, these people who are also servicing large amounts of loans, similar to the company I just left, and I don't know if Guild does or not. The servicers they're in a pinch.
Yeah, we're now starting to service more of our loans. We were selling the majority of our loans until last month, and now we're switching gears on all the stuff we're closing now. We're going to have to service it and just sell it directly to Jenny and Fannie and Freddie directly, because there's now the aggregators have checked out. They're not buying they're buying, but they're buying at a higher premium. I mean, a higher rate. So we rather just sell it directly to Jenny or Fannie or Freddie, so that way we can continue to do business and give people a great rate.
Yep, same here.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you hear me?
There you go.
Yeah.
You brought up forbearance. And actually you sent out an email, Rob, the other day that I actually copy pasted and just sent it to my old database. If you're a realtor listening to this, I highly recommend getting on these people's email list, because they send out some really great content that I steal religiously and just spit it back out and give it to other people. So Rob, you did bring up forbearance. Can you expand on and then if he misses any, let's have like a little 4-minute discussion around forbearance really quick, because somebody told me today they applied for a forbearance And I want to make sure that people understand the potential consequences of this. Some people need to do it, but some people don't. What are the potential consequences?
I'm going to give you 10 or 15 seconds so I can leave it open for some of the other people on the call. The short version is forbearance is not forgiveness. There's a big misconception with the consumers that they think this is just an opportunity to not make their mortgage payment. And what we're seeing and what we're highly recommending is if you have the ability and the intent to make your mortgage payment, make your mortgage payment. There's still a lot to be unknown, whether it's going to be tacked on to the end, whether the lenders are truly not going to report to your credit. But really, from an industry standpoint, the servicers, they could be on the hook for 6 to 12 months worth of that mortgage payment. That's really going to hurt people. I heard a note, and then I'll let somebody speak. Last year, this was on that MBS highway call yesterday. Last year, the servicers made about $10 billion. I don't know if that's revenue or profit. If 25% of the homeowners apply for forbearance, that equates to about $70 billion. That's going to impact the servicers. Big number, big number. So I'll stop there in case anybody else wants to talk, because it's a pretty important topic.
Yeah, the other issue you're going to have, go ahead.
No. Go ahead.
The other issue we're going to have is you're going to have all these shortages and all these escrows. So, I mean, the lender or the servicer, even though they're going to be responsible for paying that shortage for you for that time period that you took the forbearance, they have to come back and raise your payment next year. So when you go back to work, now your payment's going to be $2 or $3 or $4 more per month to make up that escrow shortage for that time period that you didn't pay. So now we're going to see an onslaught of people not being able to make their payments even when they go back to work. So that's scary. So if you don't have to go into forbearance and you have the money to pay your mortgage. This is not free money. This is, you're setting yourself up for failure down the road. And because the servicer is not going to just pay your taxes and insurance, which they will, and not get their money back, period.
You mean they're just not going to be nice about it and just kind of forgive us and just be like, oh, it's okay, and rainbows and unicorns?
No, it's not free lunch. And this is the unintended consequence of, US government or politician, saying things in the media. These are the reasons why I don't watch news or watch TV. Once they announce stuff like this, it is incredible amount of work for our industry to explain, communicate, and talk to all of our database and clients, because when they make an announcement that they can not pay their mortgage payments for 6 months and another 6 months, nobody's telling them what are the consequences, how they qualify, if they qualify, where to go check the qualification, and all the nitty gritties. Like, you can't be in default if you want this. You have to be, there's so many things that goes on, but nobody talks about that. They just talk about in the news, like, you can go to the bank right now and like get the free money, right? And so that's the difficulty of it. The other thing that's going on that the public do not know is most of these investors and servicers have their back-end office from India, and India shut down. So there's just backlog of work and things that we have to do in order to even, move the needle of the pipelines that we have, let alone people wanting to ask us, we're going to go in contract and then we want forbearance for 6 months. We cannot do those purchases either, because we can't sell the loans, right? If people think that they're going to go into forbearance, they shouldn't buy the house in the first place. So our industry right now is literally working around the clocks to educate our clients, realtors, and do the right thing by explaining these things so that they don't shoot themselves in the foot, because their lives will be more difficult when they get out of it.
Bettina, you're muted.
You're muted.
Thank you. I'm homeschooling, so my kids are still back there, and I can tell them to be quiet all I want. And I don't know if this is true for any of you guys that have kids at home. They're not cooperating that I'm working from home. So I'm just totally letting it all go. Like, I will work with it. I love my kids, and you guys know this is my time. So sometimes I wonder, I'm like, because I'm a realtor, and I want to know what other realtors are doing. And I think about who talks to more realtors than anybody else on the front end. And that's you guys. It's us, right? But you guys talk to the realtors. We talk to the clients, you talk to the realtors. What are some things that are some successful realtors are doing right now? Like the ones who are totally taking this circumstance, this shift, this pivot, and they're like poof, and doing with so much grace. And you're like, wow, if more realtors were doing this, the real estate, they will thrive in this market right now. What are you seeing those realtors that you're like, man, they're killing it, and I love it?
The majority of the agents that I work with that are doing well during this time are the ones that are working the phones and doing the Zoom meetings, going back through their past client base. I'm fortunate, a lot of the agents that I work with have a rich social sphere that they're going back to. I don't know if you're familiar with HomeBot. It's a tool, a valuation tool, but they're getting them set up on a program that sends them their value. It has been very, very good for them because we all get so busy with the transaction and we sometimes forget the relationship. And a lot of the agents are going back and getting prepared. When we do come out of this, they're finding really how people's kids are doing, really how well they're doing. If there's any job concerns, they can genuinely reach out to people during this time with a legitimate reason. It's not, may not be an immediate sale, but they're not sitting around doing nothing. They're out, making calls, making contacts.
This isn't vacation. What else you got, guys?
The people who have the best digital footprint are winning right now. So, HomeBot, obviously, a lot of realtors love it. It's very inexpensive, and people use it. So the realtors who are not missing the beat are people who have the digital footprint and social proof, and they're all working on aggregating all the reviews into one platform, cleaning up their digital presence and doing the audits and using data analytics and really focusing on prioritizing how to get in front of their clients right now. So dialing, obviously, and posting things on their social media, but they have it already set up working. And so if the realtors don't have it set up, then this is a great time to take their 6 steps to set them up. And that's the things that we're doing to help our realtors right now,
to do the things that they knew that they should have been doing, but everything was easy, so it was easy to let that go. That was good. What else y'all got? I'm writing this stuff.
Just reaching out to your database and talking to them and to see how they're doing. I mean, basically, don't be calling people right now, asking them to sell their home. Don't be asking people that, are you ready to buy? I was talking to a couple clients this morning, and I just called them and say, how's your family? That was the first question. How's your family? How are you feeling? Is everybody okay in your household? Is there any needs that you guys need? Are you finding that there's something you might need? And just giving them information like, oh, I know that at Walmart at this time there was toilet paper. I mean, basic stuff, but come on, guys, it shows that you care. And that makes a huge difference in the relationship that you're having with people. And then I got into, oh, I still need bank statements. I need these things to continue what we're doing. But the terminology has changed because I saw something that came from a realtor that was talking about happy hour and movie tickets. And I'm like, come on, guys, think about what you're putting out there before you put it out there. People right now are scared, and they need a counselor. They need someone to just talk to, and they've been stuck at home, just like we all are right now. So
that's a good point. Somebody was, I heard the other day, and it was a reminder to me to check my email automations. Our email automations have to shift. So basically it needs the automation, the automated newsletters that some of us might be doing, some of that automation. We need to actually shift that conversation and probably offer more value in helping people have more clarity around what's going on so that they can feel more secure about moving forward in this. That's good. What
And if you
else?
have those conversations right now, when the time comes that they're ready to do something, but who are they going to call first? The person who actually reached out to them to see how they were doing and how they could help. If there's something they can do to help them, a small need, whatever it may be, homeschool, I'm going crazy, give them some advice, send them to a website, a YouTube. There's so many things as an agent that you influence with all these other people that you might learn from another buyer or another borrower or another client that you can pass on to your client and say, hey, I found this YouTube video that they're doing sing-alongs and they're doing this and they're doing that. And you just open a huge relief on that person that's been going stir crazy in their house. And who are they going to remember 6 months down the road when they have to sell or buy?
The common denominator that I'm seeing for the need for most homeschool moms at this time, new homeschool moms, what they really need at this time, appears to be wine. That seems to be the most consistent message that I'm hearing. I'm just going to share that.
Well, hey,
I wish it was a joke, but that's exactly what I'm hearing.
You asked a question, I don't know if we'll get to it, but what positive aspects have come out of COVID? And I'd like to just circle back to what Lewis and Heejing said, but I'm kind of a follower of the market, was a stockbroker back in the day, so I'm kind of addicted to the ticker that runs across CNBC. But literally every sector is down, but the one blurb I saw was alcohol sales are up 55%.
No comment.
Yeah, but I do think Heejing and Luis make a great point. And so this is the time to focus on your marketing, your database, your segmentation. But the type of person that I am, man, I just need that human interaction. And a lot of my realtors are the same way. And I think Luis is really, hitting the nail on the head, not to say Heejing isn't, because I'm a marketing guy. That's where I spent a lot of my career for the last 15 years. And that's super important. This is a good time to test what you're putting on social, watch the data, get yourself out there. That stuff is just, that's what I'm helping my referral partners with that are kind of shut down. Because look, traffic has slowed and everybody is, kind of feeling the same thing. So just having that human interaction and outreach, for the realtors out there, being in touch with what's going on. One of the other stores that's busy is Home Depot, and everybody's out there planning stuff and doing these home projects. And I think you're going to hopefully get to a point where this pent up demand comes out and some of the homeowners realize that, my house is too small, or I want a playroom, or the people who are doing improvements and working on those projects right now may make their house more saleable when the time comes. So there can be some positive at the end of the road. I think there will be. It's going to be tough for a while, but that human interaction is so important when I'm reaching out to even friends and referral partners. They just love hearing another human voice that's not the child, because I've got the little ones too, and it's hard. And I know it's hard on the moms and all of us that stay home with the kiddos. And it's a blessing. It's a gift. You might have heard me say it in my video, but Rachel, my wife, says one of the best things: the days are long and the years are short. And so for those of us that have kids, staying focused on the years is short is really helpful. And sometimes your customers just need to have somebody that they can emote with that just is willing to listen. So
I
go ahead.
I totally agree. The things that I'm adding the most value with my realtors partners are being an active listener and just listening, because every person's situation is so customized to each realtor and the family. And so learning to listen without necessarily providing any solutions for them has been really, really helpful to realtors. And the little thing matters right now. And what I do is, if I know my realtor partners, they like certain things that, because we work together for a long time, for example, my sweet potato pie, it's not that great pie. I'm not a good baker, and I would bake it and then put it on, their door. We're not seeing each other, sadly. But those little things matter to anybody, not just our realtors, but our friends and family, our employees. I go to the store and buy certain kind of pasta and drop it off at, my employees, or if I know my employees short on protein or meat, because there was huge shortage on grocery in Northern California, I take mine from the freezer and, drop it off, to them. And those little, so what good came out of this is just a lot of love and respect for humankind. And even though, we're stuck at our house, but I get to find these little excuses like drive 1.3 miles and, do stuff. So it's been meaningful, truly.
Yeah, we've been doing the email or the text out when we're at a store and we find something, and next thing you know, I'm buying stuff for 3 or 4 family members and somebody else, and it gives you joy because you're like, we were out of this, or you see SpaghettiOs, or you see this, or it's just incredible. My father-in-law was at Total Wines last night, and it's like, hey, can you get us a bottle of the? It's just unbelievable how people are coming together, even though we're not seeing each other, touching each other. We're coming together and helping each other out.
We're coming together and helping each other out. But so Andrew, I want to hear because I know you also, just like the other folks here, talk to a lot of realtors, and you're seeing some realtors really thrive during this time, or setting themselves to thrive when everything just starts coming. We're optimistic, thinking it's going to really it's like that slingshot, right? It's like the rubber band's being pulled back. It might be slowing down, but somebody's going to let it go, and it's going to go, right?
Right.
What are the realtors that you're seeing that are setting themselves up for that? What are they doing? We've got you heard what everybody else was saying. You got something else?
One of the things that I've seen, and it's almost comical, is agents having open houses and doing showings with their phone. And I've seen some of them that are just about as serious as you can get. And, and then I've seen others that are just making jokes and having fun. And to me, I would rather look at a house having fun, but they're doing it, one-on-one, FaceTime live, and somebody will ask you questions. Can you open up that cabinet? It's interactive. And to me, it's so much better than taking, 4 hours and maybe seeing 10 or 12 people at open house, where you've got 20, 30 people checking in on your, virtual open house and doing the walkthroughs. I think it's a great idea. And it's one of those things that it can be done. It still can be done. So get out and do it. And I think it was really nice that Governor Abbott said that real estate is an essential business. I've always thought realtors were essential, but I'm glad he confirmed it now that real estate is essential in Texas.
Well, and there's people that are mixed about this, right? And you brought up a great point about that shaming a little bit of the realtors who are out working, but this sector of the economy is critical, and there are people who sincerely need us right now. They need to get out of this house because they lost, they can't afford it. They know that it's not going to happen, or they're going to be homeless. Something is happening. People don't stop. So what is your advice for how can a realtor frame this in such a way that they can still work without having to be concerned about what other people say about them, about how they're out killing people because they're leaving their house? That was hard.
Yeah, I personally am really into stoicism. I share a lot of articles and emails with our realtors, and just focusing on, we can only do what we can do on a day-to-day basis. Some days are going to be tough, and some days you're going to have this insight and reflection that you feel bad as a human being. And you're doing the best you can in your own realm and the client's needs. What I tell my realtors right now are, this shall pass. We don't know when, but it could be as early as June, as late as August or September, and the floodgate is going to open, and our lives are going to be good and bad in a way, a lot of business, and we wouldn't have capacity to handle them. So we teach all of our pre-approved buyers and people who are on the fence on refis or furlough employees that this will all pass, and you guys are going to have to get in line to get this done at some point this year or next year. So being prepared with your paperwork, being organized, still keep up with your pre-approval, because you're going to eventually buy your lease is up, you have to lease again. Life is going to happen after this, and being mentally, spiritually, physically, intellectually, emotionally be ready is most important thing. And whatever your advice is, to do that. And I think same with realtors, prioritizing their database and their current clients and rank them and disposition them, so when things happen that they are not overwhelmed with just everybody coming at them and everything will be an emergency. They all have to be the most important clients at the same time. How do realtors are willing to navigate that? So I share a lot of books. I gift a lot of books on Amazon. I share things and just, teach them one day at a time. That's really all we can do today.
Yeah, you are a big reader. I know you don't do a lot of TV, but you read a lot. I know that.
That's my advice. Yeah.
So it's 11:42. I want to respect people's time. And I said, is there anybody that has a question that we can in chat? I didn't even look in chat. If you have a question, put it here. We'll make sure we cover it. But could you guys let us know? This is a great panel, and I appreciate you guys taking time. I know you guys are swamped right now taking care of your business and pivoting in your business. And the fact that you took a little bit of your time, quite a bit of your time, to share this information with us realtors to help us better serve our clients, we appreciate that. And we know that we have to, when we refer a client, a lender, we need to give them more than one. And if it's okay, if everybody just gets out your pen and paper, get out your phone right now, make sure that these folks' contacts are in your phone, because as a resource, maybe you don't have a client right now, but they're amazing resources and they know what's going on in the market. They're extremely knowledgeable, and just have a conversation with them when you have a question. So, and also get on their email. They got good content in their email. What do you call that? The email?
Or CRMs.
Yeah.
They come out of
No, the email thingy that comes, it doesn't matter.
But we blog every day. So everything that we do, it's on our website. So it's easier for anybody to just go on the website. But I will.
What is your website?
It's jvmlending.com. So it's J, V as in Victor, M as in Mary, lending.com.
And I put that in the chat. So y'all open up your chat. Andrew also put a link for HomeBot in there too, in the chat box on Zoom. Okay.
Yeah.
Louis, how do we get a hold of you?
Easiest way is 972-890-0048, which is our team number. That's pretty much answered 24. I mean, I say 24/7, but we try to sleep at night. And then the email us, it's real easy. It's rockstars with an S at city.bank, BANK. We're unique. There's 4 of us that work together as a team. So it makes things a little bit easier because there's always someone available.
Okay. Next.
Andrew?
Andrew McElyea. Cell phone number is available, 469-774-4727. And like Luis, there are 4 of us on the team. Myself, originator. My son is also an originator. Jamie, who is used to be a processor for Countrywide for 12 years. We've been together now for 3 years. The back office stuff, pre-approvals and whatnot. And then Sarah is an ex-realtor turned lender who has a heart for the struggles that real estate agents go through and wanted to help out. Wasn't the best realtor in the world, great at what she does for us. So we're a team.
The way to do it.
That's awesome.
Hey, Bettina. Yeah, Rothrock. Cell phone's the best way to get a hold of me, 214-557-0172. I always say I have a hustle and help mentality. So if I'm not hanging out with my kids or sleeping, I'm probably working. And I'm part of the Tish Ashley team, been around in Dallas for a long time. We've got a pretty big team in the North Dallas area. And just thank you for having us on. This was fun. A lot of good conversation, and I really appreciated the opportunity to be a part of it. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Can I say one thing for that? You are an amazing, Tish is an amazing person. Tish Ashley, I worked for her many years ago.
Thanks,
And
Liz.
I have never, ever worked with somebody with such a beautiful heart as Tish. When I have clients that have been pre-approved by Tish's team, I basically say, hey, you guys are with the best. And I walk away. I mean, I'm just out of total respect to Tish. She's amazing.
Thank you.
Good
Thanks,
job.
Liz. Yeah, she's pretty awesome. So
It was amazing.
All of you guys, I want you to know, all you guys are awesome people. Those that are listening to this call know how I am about the humanness of my tribe. I believe there's the hustle and the grind, but at the end of the day, we have each other and that kindness above all else. And it's interesting that that's now like a common saying, but you guys are consistently wonderful. Sometimes we get a little edgy because we're like hustling, but at the end of the day, our hearts are consistently doing the right thing. And I absolutely love that about each one of you, is that you always stay true to your values. One, you know your values, you stay true to them, you're consistent about it. And I appreciate that about you guys. And I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much for helping everybody on this call. So I appreciate y'all.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Bettina.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Thank you. You
You
too.
too.
I'm going to unmute this. Everybody, how do I unmute all? I'm going to unmute all. All right. Guys, bye, guys.
Bye.
It's so good to
Bye-bye.
see all y'all.
Bye.
Good seeing you, David.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, good to see you, David. Bill, Lori.
to see
Hey,
you.
two
Hi,
Loris are
Lori.
here. Bill, Brittany. Hey, guys.
Hey,
David.
What's up, Bettina?
Patrick. Hey, Terry and Kim. Y'all awesome. So good to see you guys. Thanks, y'all. Bill, I saw your face. Hey.
I'm alive.
And well, yes? And well.
Yes. I know.
Good.
Exactly.
Yay. I'll
We're
stop.
surviving.